Ready to remember. Jeremy's journey of hope and healing. Jeremy loved art. It had always been his favorite subject in school. But lately, the 10-year-old boy couldn't even pick up a paintbrush. Today in art class, he just stared at his blank paper. "Do you need some ideas for your sketch?" Mr. Davis asked. "Nah, I just don't feel like drawing," Jeremy replied. The boy's artwork used to cover the walls of the classroom. Now Jeremy just didn't seem interested. "I'd rather read my book," he told Mr. Davis. After school, Jeremy's mother picked up Jeremy and his younger brother. Brandon jumped into the back seat. Jeremy's brother was in second grade. He turned 8 3 months ago, just a few weeks before that horrible day. "Woohoo! It's the weekend," yelled Brandon. "Fridays rule." "It's finally warming up," said their mother. "Do you boys want to go to the skate park tomorrow?" "Yes," said Brandon. "I can't," Jeremy said, looking out the window. "I need to study." "But it's the weekend. You can take some time out for a little fun, can't you, honey?" asked Jeremy's mom. "No," Jeremy snapped. "I have a math test coming up. Don't you remember that I got a C- on the last one?" Jeremy's grades were way down. Until recently, he always got straight A's in school. "That's okay, Jeremy," said Brandon. "We can skateboard another time." When they got home, Jeremy went straight to his room. His brother followed him. "Hey, Jer, do you want to play a video game or something?" Brandon asked. Maybe," said Jeremy. Brandon was excited. "Cool. Let's play the one Dad gave me for my birthday. Let's go downstairs." "Hold on," Jeremy said, changing his mind. "I'm not in the mood. I really want to finish my book." Brandon looked at his big brother. He loved hanging out with Jeremy, but lately he felt like a big pest. Jeremy always wanted to be alone. His friends didn't even come over anymore. At dinner that night, the boy's mom served homemade pizza. "Can I have another piece, Mom?" Brandon asked, popping a piece of pepperoni into his mouth. "Do you guys remember that time last year when Dad was making one of his super-duper pizzas? He threw the pizza dough in the air like real pizza chefs do, but it landed on the toaster." Brandon laughed at the memory, and he just scraped it off and used it. Gross. Their mom laughed along with Brandon. Jeremy jumped up from the table, knocking his glass of juice onto the floor. "Why do you two keep talking about Dad?" he yelled. "Haven't you noticed? He's not here anymore. Who cares about some stupid pizza he made?" Jeremy didn't want to hear stories about his dad. He missed him too much. Why couldn't his mother and brother understand that? "Jeremy," his mother called out. "I'm not hungry. I'm going upstairs to read," Jeremy said as he dashed to his room and slammed the door behind him. Jeremy tried to read his book, but the words just blurred together. How can they talk about Dad as if nothing happened, he wondered. Don't they even care that he's gone? Whenever someone mentioned his father, even a happy memory, all Jeremy could think about was the awful way that he died. Now every time Brandon or his mom brought up a story about his dad, Jeremy just felt scared. He had so many awful dreams about his father's death that he was afraid to go to sleep. When Jeremy was 7, his father gave him his first set of colored pencils. There were 64 pencils in the set, more colors than he had ever seen. He and his dad loved to draw pictures together. They used to make funny portraits of each other. His dad also taught Jeremy and Brandon how to skateboard. He may have been the oldest person at the skate park, but he could do an ollie jump and kickflip better than most of the kids. Whenever Jeremy saw the colored pencils or his skateboard, they reminded him of his father and the terrible way that he died. His stomach started hurting and he often felt like throwing up. Jeremy thought it was his fault that his dad died. He should have known something bad was going to happen and warned his father. It was easier to just stay away from anything that reminded him of his dad. Jeremy's mom came upstairs to talk to him. She sat on the edge of his bed. "I know how much you miss Dad, sweetie," his mom said. "We all do." "I should have stopped him from going out that day," Jeremy said, still staring at the pages of his book. "Oh, honey, there's nothing you or any of us could have done. Sometimes bad things just happen. You had nothing to do with it." "I don't feel so good, Mom," Jeremy said, shutting his eyes. When he thought about his dad, his heart would beat so hard it felt like it was going to jump out of his chest. And now he was worried all the time about his mom, too. Would something happen to her? "I have that stomach ache again," Jeremy said, grabbing his belly. "Oh, son, I'm worried that it's not going away. I think we need to go see Dr. Chung again. Maybe she can figure out how to make it better." The next day, Jeremy's mother took him to the doctor's office. Dr. Chung examined Jeremy and talked to him for a long time. She said that she wanted to send him to a friend of hers who was a different kind of expert, a counselor who helped people with their feelings. "Jeremy, would you be willing to talk to my friend? I think she'll be able to help you with your stomachache." "I guess so," Jeremy said. He was worried that the counselor would make him talk about his dad, and he did not want to do that. A few days later, Jeremy and his mother got to his appointment early. A girl and her dad were leaving as Jeremy walked into the waiting room. When Jeremy looked up, he was surprised to see it was someone he knew. Elena was a grade above him and one of the star soccer players at his school. He remembered that she made the winning goal at the finals last year. The girl saw him and waved. "You're Jeremy, right?" the girl said. "I'm Elena." Jeremy just looked down at his feet. He didn't feel like talking to Elena right now. He was thinking about going in to see the counselor. Jeremy didn't say much during his first session. He was relieved she didn't make him talk a lot about his dad. A few weeks later in school, Jeremy was eating lunch by himself when he spotted Elena. The girl came over to Jeremy's table. "I was so sorry to hear that your father died," Elena said softly. "My mom died last year, and I know how hard it is." Jeremy felt a little sick when Elena mentioned his dad, but he also knew she understood what he was going through. "I used to be so scared and confused all the time," Elena said, setting her tray of food down across from Jeremy. "One time my dad took me and my brother to a restaurant we used to go to with my mom. I totally flipped out. I refused to walk into the place." "Yeah, I've done stuff like that too," Jeremy said. "Mostly I tried not to have any feelings at all," Elena continued. "It's like I stuffed them all into a jack-in-the-box. Every once in a while the jack-in-the-box would get so full it would explode and all sorts of feelings would come flying out." "I know what you mean," Jeremy said. "I remember one time after my mom died, when my dad wanted me to clean my room," Elena continued. "I don't know why that made me mad. I slammed my door so hard that a picture fell off the wall. My dad was upset and said your mother would know what to do. That just made me madder, but instead of yelling, I started crying. My dad hugged me and started crying too. He said that maybe we needed some help to figure out how not to be so mad and scared all the time. That's when I started going to the counselor." "And did it help you?" Jeremy asked. "Yeah, a lot," said Elena. "I was finally able to talk about my mom and how she died. I used to blame myself. Now I get that I had nothing to do with it. I learned things I could do to help feel better, like pretending I was blowing up a big balloon in my belly. That helped me relax." "Yeah, my mom did that trick with me last night at bedtime," Jeremy said. "It helped me calm down. Sometimes when I go to sleep, I can't stop thinking of the way my dad died. I used to feel like all the scary stuff that happened was super glued to my good memories. Now they're finally unstuck." Jeremy thought it would be great to think about his dad without feeling so scared. The following week, Jeremy did talk to the counselor about his dad. He saw her several more times and then began to feel better. One day he realized that his stomach didn't hurt anymore. A couple of months later, Jeremy started going to the skate park with Brandon. He even taught his brother how to do his dad's killer kickflip. In school, Jeremy began drawing again. One day he drew a portrait of his dad wearing the funny tie that Jeremy had hand-painted for Father's Day when he was in first grade. When he showed the picture to his mother, he saw that she had tears in her eyes. "I'm sorry if it upsets you, Mom," Jeremy said. "Oh no, honey. I love it," his mother replied, wiping a tear away. "It looks just like Dad. I'm going to frame it and hang it in the living room so we can see it every day." Jeremy and his mom hugged each other. He still felt very sad about his father, but now he was able to smile when he remembered the good times they had together. The counselor suggested that Jeremy and his brother think of a way to honor their father's birthday that summer. The boys decided to have a pizza party and to make one of their father's super-duper pizzas with everything on it. Jeremy invited Elena to the party. Jeremy showed Elena how to toss the pizza dough into the air, just like his father used to. She tried to catch the dough, but it fell onto their toaster, making a big mess. Elena felt bad at first, but Jeremy and his family burst into laughter. "Don't worry, Elena," Jeremy said, still laughing. "The same thing happened to my dad." Jeremy's mom scraped the dough off of the toaster and plopped it in the pizza pan. They all enjoyed a delicious dinner. Jeremy and Brandon decided to have a pizza party every year to remember their dad.